Hello again. Today I'm going to talk about a new pair of trail runners that I've gotten. Now I've put a lot of thought into what sort of footwear would be best suited for walking the Ireland Way. I'll also be talking about one unusual piece of gear to be carrying on a hike, particularly a long distance hike, but we'll get to that shortly. I walk in a pair of trail runners because my feet are very fussy about what type of footwear I have on them. Like I seem to be very prone to injury over the years, but so I've decided to walk the Ireland Way in a pair of trail runners for that reason. Like that, in my preparations I've been wearing quite a lightweight pair of Salomon trail runners, but I've found that there's probably not enough cushioning in it for me personally. I know with the distance I'll be walking, any extra support in that would be quite welcome. And as well as that, the treads on the bottom seem to have worn out very quickly. So I'll be starting the Ireland Way in about 3.5 weeks. So I decided if I'm going to change the pair of shoes that I'm going to be walking in, now's the time to do it, so that I'll have at least a few weeks to get a feel for whether or not they're going to hurt me, whether or not they cause blisters and that sort of thing. Now I know in Ireland it's very wet. In walking in the trail runners, I've found that most of your day you spend with wet feet, but to be honest I've just gotten used to it, because I've always walked in trail runners for the fact that my feet are so fussy. So to be honest, I don't really know any better than having soaking wet feet all day long. And quite recently I had a day of walking where my feet didn't get wet for a change, and that was the first day I've gotten blisters in a long time. So my feet seem to be better suited to wearing trail runners as opposed to hiking boots, because I always found that they gave me quite severe pains in my toes and ankles and knees. So I guess I'll show you the new pair that I've gotten. Like this, I haven't gone with this brand ever before, so fingers crossed, taking a chance on it, but at least I have a little bit of time to break them in over the next few weeks and see whether or not they're going to work for me. And if not, I think I'll probably just take a chance on going with the trail runners that I'm used to and possibly change them out halfway through if I'm finding the padding is getting beaten down too much, or the treads are getting worn off quicker than they should be. Because like I said, the Ireland Way is 50% road walking and 50% trail walking, so in that sense they should be fairly easy enough walking in terms of the surface. So let's have a look at the new trail runners I've gotten, and let's hope that they don't hurt my feet. So here they are. It's a pair of Asics Trabuco Max. It sounds like a cough medicine, but yeah, like that. They are an extremely well cushioned pair of shoes. I think there's about 3 centimeters of sole in them, so a lot more than what I'm used to walking in. I would say this will take quite a bit of getting used to, but like that, they are quite rigid, which is what I wanted, to protect my feet as much as possible. And as well as that, the top of them is very lightweight, so will dry out quickly, which is important in that my feet will be wet a lot of the time, so the quicker they dry out, the more chance I have of at least having a dry pair of runners to put on in the morning. So they have the quick lace system on top. I think it's Asics version of the Salomon quick lace system that I have on my other shoes. I find it's really handy. They don't seem to come loose all day long. The ones I have anyway, I don't know about these. We'll see how it goes. They also have quite a sturdy rock plate in them, as far as I know, to sort of protect the feet from uneven ground underfoot. I was afraid that the extra stack height of them, so the depth of the sole, would make them a bit unstable, but they are also considerably wider than what I usually walk in, so that should help out a lot while I'm walking the trail. They have pretty aggressive soles on them for gripping mud and more uneven bits of ground, and they're also a pretty funky colour, so that should help an awful lot with keeping my feet snazzy along the way. I figured that good footwear would eliminate as much possible risk of injury that I could, and other than that, that's about it. So the other bit of kit that's probably quite unusual for a hike. Now I know I've seen some people carrying musical instruments, but because I'm trying to raise funds for the Irish Cancer Society, I decided it might help drum up an extra bit of interest if I brought my banjo along, because I play traditional Irish music on the banjo. And I figured that this would help sort of drum up some interest and get more people involved, make a bit of noise while I'm going through the towns, and try and get people to help spread the word about the cause and the great work that the Irish Cancer Society do. The only harm it could possibly do is do my legs for carrying the extra weight. So in that, I decided my good banjo is about 6 kilograms, so realistically, if I'm looking to get injured along the way, that's probably the way to do it. So I decided instead I would go online and see could I buy a small banjo. And it turns out you can buy a cross between a banjo and a ukulele. So I decided I would put different strings in it so that it would sound the same as a regular banjo and would be a lot lighter to carry. I think it's only about 1.5 kilograms, I think. I could be wrong there. But in that sense, it should be much more convenient to carry both weight-wise and size-wise. And like that, as you can see, it's a lot smaller than a regular sized banjo. Cute little thing. It's like a little pet. But it should be a fairly good compromise for the fact that I'm going to be carrying it along the full of the Ireland way, along with everything else I need to live for that 40 or so days. So that's it. It was only cheap online. It's going to be out in the weather with me. I'm going to be carrying it in this carry case that it came in, and I'm going to put that inside of this heavy duty bin bag, and hopefully that will be enough to keep the water out of it. It should be fine, really, hopefully. So if you've enjoyed the few little videos that I've put up so far, hit the subscribe button so that you can continue to follow along with my journey. If you want to find more information on it, head over to gonewalking.eu and you'll find out everything there is to know about it there. So thanks very much for watching. I hope you got something out of this video. Slán, and see you again soon.